All right, Shalom, Shalom. Hey, first and foremost, before I get started, as always, I want to give all praises, all honor, all glory due to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Hashem, Dash, and honor to the apostles and elders of the great millstone that will tell His truth. Peace and salutations to the icon that's pushing His word and truth and sincerity, throughout the foot to the earth, waking up, those who elect, they're risking their lives and freedoms to do so, definitely more so now than ever before. This is the brother Zion Amath. The gym is Detroit Body Camp. And this is going to be like a quick hit breakdown. Right, dealing with Sirach, Ecclesiasticus, right? 10th chapter and 27th verse. So without further ado, let's read. It reads, better is he, verse 27, better is he that laboreth and aboundeth in all things than he that boasteth himself in want of bread. Right? I'll read that again. It says, better is he that laboreth, right? The working man, all right? 9 to 5, those that even in this truth, those that's doing the work, that's being diligent, right? That man is better off. You know what I'm saying? Because he's staying occupied, he's staying busy, right? He's using his leisure time wisely. You understand? Because yeah, on the spiritual level, we're supposed to work. Doing the work is what? Going out on the highways and the byways and pushing his truth, confessing the names of Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, all right, prophesying the downfall of this wicked society, this kingdom, queendom, all right, and push it forth to the kingdom of heaven, all right, where there will be a righteous rulership, right? Doing these videos, studying, reading, praying, all right, it's all part of doing the work on the spiritual level. Also on a, in this society, carnal means to have to sustain, right? You have to work. You can't be in the truth and be a bum, be a derelict, be someone that's always begging, always looking for a handout. Like, no, you gotta earn your keep, as they say. You have to be active, all right? You can't be as a slug, right? You have to be active. You gotta, how to say, be gainfully employed. All right, so that again, you can sustain yourself. You can have, a roof over your head or whatever that is. Small apartment, studio, whatever. But to have your own, which is another important thing. Having your own, which we know that's harder now than ever before due to inflation. He saw, jacking up prices on every damn thing. But anyway, the part is true. You got work to do on a spiritual level as well as um, a societal level. You got to work, right? Um, Reading on, it says, "In aboundeth in all things, you sustain it. You okay, right? You can afford clothing, food, housing, right? Like, hey, like the Lord's prayer, give me this day our daily bread. You know what I'm saying? That's all we need. We need just enough to get by to continue on to the next day. You know what I'm saying? We don't need great abundance on this side in terms of wealth. It's not necessary, although some certain brothers are blessed with that. And the water Yahweh for that. The water Yahweh Shai for that. Why? Because, that brother or brothers, right, that are well off, right, they can help the congregation, they can help ministry, they can for brothers, that's uptight, what I'm saying, they can help them out when need be, right? But then also, what else we say? But yeah, just again, I was betraying the thought, but yeah, just that daily bread, all we need is to get by. Oh yeah, right? um, being sufficient. You know what I'm saying? We don't need too much. We don't want to have too little. 'Cause then, yeah, you'll be, down and out, begging, right? Looking for this, looking for that. And so you want the Lord to keep you in a space to where you're just balanced, right? You're not out in the streets to where, you looking for your next meal, this, that, and the third, because see, that would get in front of, or that would be a hindrance, should I say, in pushing this truth, right? So the Lord provides you just necessities, right? Right? You may have wants, but necessities come first, all right? They say, housing, right? Water, food, you know, what I'm saying? Clothing, these are the things that's sufficient, for a man, right? So that, hey, you get a little Wi-Fi, you got a little cell phone, whatever, you push these videos, you know what I'm saying? And, hey, there ain't nothing stopping you from going out, should not be stopping you from going out the hours of hours, you know what I'm saying? Except just one day a week, you know what I'm saying? And show out for how much you know shots, which is true. Now it says the latter part, it says, then, let's read it again. Better is he that laboreth and aboundeth in all things than he that boasteth himself and wanted bread, right? Which is, hey, that's a fool, right? That's boasting about, who he was or who he is now, what he got, when in reality he ain't got nothing. You know what I'm saying? Which, let's take these rappers for example, right? These rappers, right? They rap about, Lear jets and, where they done travel, bras they done hit, bras they can get, nice cars, the lavish homes, and this and that. And 9 times out of 10, right, these guys they ain't got none of those things. Neither will they ever have any of those things, right? Due to them what they call 360 deals and all that. You know, taking bad contracts just to get on, just to get some fame. And you'll get the fame, but the money oftentimes doesn't come with it. You know what I'm saying? Then they find themselves trapped in a 10 album, record deal or something, right? So where they got to do, write all this damn music and getting crumbs. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these labels basically, they'll let you borrow things, right? To show or to make it look like Jay got something, so that other two-third Jakes can follow suit and sell their soul, but don't get caught up in that. Hey, that's tell live vision. You know what I'm saying? Tell live vision. You know. Um. So yeah, you don't want to be in that space. You know what I'm saying? Because even more so, right? You bragging and boasting. So acting and saying you got it. Then oh shit, you don't need no help. You got it already. You made it. You know what I'm saying? Even Jake on a low level, he be doing all this to impress people he never gonna talk to. You know what I'm saying? Even right now, you got income tax season, right? So you got Jake, right? Get the money, buy, a old school or buy a car or whatever sort. You know what I'm saying? Put all this money down, right? So shoot right from the car lot, go to the rim store, right? Not buy the rims, but lease them, rent them, or whatever, just to look like he got it, all for another Jake just to cover it and will delete you, all right, for those things. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, well, knowing if you have any prudence, it's like, you gotta ask yourself, like, what am I doing this for? Who am I doing it for? Who am I trying to impress, really? You know what I'm saying? Because most times, right, just dealing with our people, right? And Jake, he's still in the hood. He got this nice ass car with the rims, living at his mama house, right? His auntie house, living in a storage, you know. And he got his affairs in order, trying to figure out what he gonna eat. He got a nice car though. He got a whip, pulling up to something crazy, but he don't know what he gonna eat tonight. You see that? So you don't want to be that guy, right? That's just on a carnal level. On a spiritual level, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to be boasting in terms of, basically acting like you for the Lord, but you don't proclaim the names. You know what I'm saying? You're not pushing this truth. You're not standing boldly for Yahweh Shem Yahushai, you know. And then that same guy, he's asking for uh, he's asking for donations. He's asking for alms. You know what I'm saying? This, that, and the third. But you're not teaching the people, right? So this really hits home with these fake pastors and preachers. You know what I'm saying? They boast themselves like they for the Most High. They got the nicest suit, you know, right? They come off as godly, right? And then that's, not teaching a damn thing in the church. Be the same guy. Oh, I need you to sow 1,000 plus 1,000. Like nigga, that's 2,000. Nigga, like hey, that nigga JB deceptive. How you talk? You sow 1,000 plus 1,000. You mean 2,000? Just say 2,000. You know what I'm saying? But see, this is the weakness of our people. So you don't want to be that guy. You don't want to be one that boasts of himself yet wanted bread. You know what I'm saying? You know. So that's just a quick breakdown. Nothing crazy. You know what I'm saying? Lord willing, this was edifying with that. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory due to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Kakodash. Give my honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone of will. Peace and salutations to the Hakim that's pushing his word in truth and sincerity throughout the full months of the earth. Shalom.